Hi, today we're looking at how to enable multi-channel functionality on your website. My name is Morten and this video is part of the Ucommerce Academy. Before we start setting this up on our local site, let's try to discuss what multi-channel functionality actually means. Multi-channel functionality in Ucommerce is the ability to maintain and brand and show different stores under the same installation. This means that you don't have to have multiple versions of the CMS with Ucommerce running. You can just have one site that shows different stores with different catalogs with different products. All that can be maintained within the same installation of your CMS. This opens up for a lot of different abilities in order to brand and show products differently based on what they're for. This could also be for different users entering the sites based on different profiles. Let's say that different users from different countries are going to different sites, but it's the same site, they're just branded a little differently. One of these things could be that the language will differentiate based on the user that is looking. And that is how we're going to use multi-channel functionality on our local setup today. We do have a large variety of customers that are using this feature in order to brand products differently. One of them being a brand called Rosendahl Group. Let's briefly take a look at what they're doing with multi-channel functionality. Rosendahl Group is a corporation that sells different products under different brands. One of them being Rosendahl itself, which is different designer things for the kitchens, for the living room, and so on and so forth. These products here are branded under the Rosendahl.dk site, where you can see different products that are related to that. They are branded and presented in one way. But Rosendahl Group has a large variety of sites that are also being maintained under the same installation. Another one of these sites here is Global Knives. So Rosendahl.dk and GlobalKnife.dk is actually running under the same CMS and Ucommerce installation, but they are showing different products, and the CMS, based on what we're looking at, will show a different presentation of these sites here. But they are more or less the same site, and you can see a lot of similarities, but each of the channels will resemble their own look and feel based on the product types. So you can go a long way with multi-channel functionality in order to brand and personalize the content for the users only by having the same CMS and Ucommerce installation. You don't have to run the different sites under different servers, which will require multiple licenses. It is advised to get the best speed optimized for your site though, but you can have it running under the same installation if you wish to, under the same server. That will only require a single Ucommerce enterprise license to do that. So that is what multi-channel functionality means. Let's try to set it up on our site. To achieve this, I will demonstrate it inside Umbraco, and I will be using the masterclass solution as a base where I will use the sites that I have created to show different content based on the URLs that we're entering on our site. But please notice that this functionality works across all CMS integrations with Ucommerce. I'm just using Umbraco as an example for this. But you can achieve the same thing in both Sitecore, Sitefinity, and Kentico. And the process is actually the exact same thing. Okay, so let's just get to it. There's two things that needs to happen in order for this to work. The first thing is that we need multiple URLs to point to the same website and the same installation. Here I have dk.u6.local running under my local website, and I have en.u6.local running under the same website. The idea is that I want to set up these two domains here to point to different content nodes in the CMS. In Kentico and in Sitefinity and in Sitecore, you would have the same ability. They would just point to different sites. So here I have two domains going to the same website, and right now it's showing the same content. Right now it's showing the demo store that I have running under the installation here as well. So let's go to dk.u6.local/Umbraco. I will log in with my super secret account. And the first thing that I want to do is that I want to get rid of Avenue Clothing here, because I don't want to show that on each of my sites. So I will start out by deleting that. So that's gone now, which means that when I go to my websites here again, I will see an empty installation. So we need to fix that now. Next thing, I will ensure that I have two domains running on the same site under two different root nodes in my CMS, and they will need to run English and Danish. So I also need to verify that I have the right languages installed, which is not the case. So we'll go in and add Danish as a valid language. Like that. And then I will create two root nodes with my masterclass document types. Home. And home 2. And then I want to assign two host names to each of the websites. So here I will create en.u6.local, and the website will run under enus, and I will save it. And then for home 2, I will also create a new language with dk.u6.local. And I will publish and publish the other side as well. Next thing is that I need to go into Ucommerce, find my store, and assign the domain to my first store. But I will also create another store that has some other content and assign that to the other host name. So let's go ahead and do that. Alright, so avenueclothing.com is already created. Here I will create avenueclothing.dk. On avenueclothing.dk, I will set my host name to dku6.local. And on avenueclothing.com, I will set it to enu6.local. And that is actually all I have to do. Let's try to add some content to the other store here just for the purpose of this. Demo store DK. And I will also create a category called toy. And let's put in a few products. And this is also a good opportunity just to recap on what you can do with products. Because in Ucommerce you can have the same products across multiple stores, multiple languages, and multiple catalogs if you wish to. So here I will actually add a couple of shirts from the other store that will also be available on this store here, but if you want to, you can actually sell different products under different domains and different stores without finding products from the other stores. And that is actually what the Rosendahl group is also doing. You will not see any Global Knives on the Rosendahl side, and you will not see any Rosendahl products on the Global Knives sides. But you can mix and match them if you prefer to do that as well. Okay, so now we have set up 2 domains that points to the same installation. We have set up 2 domains under 2 different content nodes, and we have created 2 stores with different content that points to each of the documents under the different host names. Here avenueclothing.com on enu6.local and avenueclothing.dk under dk.u6.local. So what happens when I refresh my front ends on the 2 different sites? Let's try and have a look. So I will go to dk.u6.local, which will now say hello masterclass, and I will have a single category called toy. And let's go to en.u6.local. Here it says hello masterclass, and I will see different products. Different categories that are not the same as the one I have on DK. So this indicates that it's now resolving the right catalog under the right domain, because I've set that up under the domain property on the catalog. But notice that my nice URLs here is not pointing to anything. So let's try to fix that. Before we do that, notice that it's actually observe this in the nice URL. It says demo store tops formal, and here it says demo store DK toy, and then the catalog and category properties. So we just need to fix the nice URLs for this site. So this is just a matter of pointing to the right rewrite rules under web config. If you do that and you set it up like I just did, if you use the masterclass code as a base for your website, this will just work out of the box. All I did was point my stores to different domains under the CMS. I actually didn't do any code changes for this to work. So this is basically how multi-channel functionality works, and this is how you configure it. If you want to see some tips and tricks on what you can use this for, please go ahead and watch the rest of this video. Otherwise, you can now use this to set up multi-channel functionality for your installations. Let's try to set up the rewrite rules and see if we can get something showing that are the right thing. Okay, so I will find my website, and then we'll find my web config, which is right here under the root, and I will find the rewrite rules that has been installed for this website. So somewhere we will see that we have rewrite rules for all the different pages that we are interested in seeing. And in this case, it's a category and a product page. So we have something called catalog/product, catalog/product, and catalog. So the 2 rewrite rules up here is for product pages, and the one down here is for the category page. It's trying to redirect to catalog.aspx and category/product.aspx. So let's go back into our installation and see if we can resemble this structure. So under my English side here, I will create a new page using the category controller and call that catalog. And I will do that under my other side as well. For the rewrite rules to work globally, I will need to resemble the same structure under each of the websites. So now I have /catalog under both of my sites. So if I refresh my front ends, we will now see that they are resolving the same page but with different content on them. And here we will actually see we have Black and White Wonderland here, and we have Black and White Wonderland here as well. So we are resolving the same products underneath the different websites, but right now they don't appear to be running under different languages. So let's try to see what happens when I start modifying the content of my installation here. So under toy, I will create a display name in Danish, and I will do the same thing for US, and I will do the same thing for my categories up here, just so we have something to look at. Formal in US and formal in Danish. And now we can see that it is actually using the Danish content for the Danish side here. And when I refresh the front end on my other side, it will say formal in US, and that's because the CMS tells us that we are running in the American version. But right now, this is actually just showing us two different catalogs with different language options. So what else can we use this for? Well, let's try to modify some prices for our setup here. Right now in my installation, I only have one price group, and that is euros in 15% VAT. Let's try to create another price group for the Danish products, just so that we can see prices in Danish kroners when we are under the Danish website. So my currency here will be Danish kroners, and we'll call this DKK 25%. And this is just two different price groups in different currencies. Imagine that you have B2B scenarios, or you have member login that will get another set of prices, but within the same currency. You can of course also differentiate based on that, so that it's the same currency but another price point, for example without VAT or 10% off or something like that. In this case, this is just Danish customers that will see Danish prices. So let's go in and modify some prices for my different products. Under this category, I have 4 products. I now need to set the prices for those in Danish kroners as well. Otherwise, I will not see all the different prices for these products. So under the pricing tab, I can now set the price in Danish kroners as well. And I don't want to give another price, so I will try to figure out what is Danish price compared to the same price but in euros. So we have to multiply by 2.5, so 7.5 or something like that. So that's something like 1,500 Danish kroners. I need to do this on all my products for this to work properly. So something like this. So let's see what the price will look like in my US side. Here we can see Black and White Wonderland has a price of 251 euros. And on the other side here, I will see still euros, because I haven't configured my catalog to show prices in another price group. Like that. When I refresh my site, it will now show me the price in Danish kroners, because it's now another site with another catalog, with another set of products in another price group, which will give me a complete different set of prices compared to the US site that I have running over here. All right. So that's how you can use multi-channel functionality for displaying different prices. This also enables you to do more advanced stuff with Marketing Foundation, for example. So let's try to delete the existing campaigns just to give a sense of what we can do. So this will not be a complete show off on what you can do with Marketing Foundation. This just shows that Marketing Foundation will also just tie directly into to how this works. So this will be avenue clothing.dk. So let's say that when I go into this store here or this catalog, I will see prices that are always discounted. So I will create a campaign item under this campaign. We need to enable it as well. So let's enable it, and let's say that it's valid throughout September through October. And here I want to say that if I'm within that store or that catalog, I will trigger the discounts. If we have multiple catalogs under the different stores, it might make sense just to target the store. So let's do that. And then when I do that, I will get 10% off the order total. Let's start out by selecting avenueclothing.dk. Like that. And percentage of the order. Will be set to 10. Save it, and let's try to refresh the American side here. It will now not show any discounts, but if I refresh the Danish side over here, and I refresh it, it will now give me 10% discount on all the different products just because I am within this store or this catalog or this category. And you can also target the price group if you want to. So there's multiple ways that you can configure this to give discounts only under that store. And of course it doesn't give me any discounts over here. So Marketing Foundation also just works out of the box if you have multi-channel functionality enabled. Alright, that's basically how multi-channel functionality works and what you can use it for. Thank you for watching and see you again soon. Bye.